All right, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm very happy to have some of the best restaurant owners I know on here right now. Another will be joining us momentarily from Wisconsin, my friend Teresa Pelletier, who's the owner of a coffee shop up there. On the line, we have Sean Danko from Memphis, who is a multi-time Restaurateur of the Year award winner in Tennessee. He's the operator of the Kooky Canuck in Memphis and Cordova. We also have Matt Schaefer from Schaefer's Barbecue in Middletown, Virginia. I used to drive an hour and a half to just to get myself some good barbecue when I didn't have anything going on a weekend, and it was definitely worth the trip. We also have my friend Michelle Baxter from Scrimp Shack in Dumfries, Virginia. Going to be talking a little bit about what this means for franchisees, which is a little bit different from the independent restaurant owners. The industry is facing a huge challenge right now with the coronavirus. There are different situations all across the country. Some places are in full shelter in place. Others have their dining areas locked down and can still do carry out and curbside. Other places have much less restrictions, but they're probably going to be facing some of these restrictions soon. So I've got these guys on here today, and they're going to talk about what they're doing now to prepare, what they're already doing, and ideas they have going forward to help them be successful through this pandemic. And I'm going to share some slides with some of things that we've recommended to our clients that we think will be of value to everybody. I'm going to go through this real quick. The first thing I want to mention is if anybody's ever heard of the Stockdale Paradox, James Stockdale was a Vietnam veteran who was held in a POW camp, and he talked about how the people who were the extreme optimists who would say we're going to be out of here by Christmas, we're going to be by New Year's, how hard that was on them when that didn't happen. And on the extreme pessimists who thought there were no hope, those were the people that didn't succeed. But the ones who had the idea that they should never confuse the faith that you'll prevail in the end with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality were the people who are successful. And the way I think that applies to us is we all know this is going to end. Eventually, we're going to come out of the other side of this pandemic and life's going to return to its new normal. We just don't know when. So we got to prepare and deal with the reality we have right now, but have ideas in place to get through it, to survive, thrive, and be able to come out the other side. We can't stick our head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. We got to look out over this horizon and see what the opportunities are coming forward in the future. So worst case scenario, the worst thing that could possibly happen would be a complete shutdown. Some places in Italy are already dealing with this. I have family over there in Milan. I've got clients in Rome who are dealing with this in some cases. No delivery, no drive-through, no curbside, no carry-out. What are you going to do? Well, you're either going to completely shut down or you're going to try to maintain something. And the options there, maintain that social media presence. Stay visible. Social media use is way up right now. It was up over 30% at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's just climbing. People are on social media. They're scrambling on their phone all the time. If you're putting content out there that is interesting to them, they're going to watch it right now. So the more you can do of that, the better. And then gift card sales. This depends. For Michelle and other franchisees, this is different. But for independent restaurant owners, you can sell those gift cards right now, and it might be enough to get you through. I have seen clients of mine who've gotten themselves into sticky situations. They needed cash infusion quickly, and they've been able to sell thousands of dollars in gift cards in a few days or less than a week because they've engaged with the people who love their brand. Current state, no in most places, things you're going to want to do, make sure your online ordering is up and running. If you don't have online ordering, find a way to get that quickly. There are a number of options that can get you set up very, very quickly so you can have online ordering going and save that commission so it doesn't go out to DoorDash and Grubhub. Get your curbside and takeout going. Push sales there to save the commission instead of going out to DoorDash or Grubhub. And be honest about it. Be transparent. Tell your customers what they're doing for you and how much they're saving for you if they use this option. The people that love you are going to want to help you on that. If you have in-house delivery, great. If not, talk with your insurance, see if it's possible, see what the costs and risks are. I am not a legal person. I am not an expert in insurance. Talk to them and see if it's possible. Third party, you aren't the hugest fans of them. They take those big commissions, but right now you kind of need them because some people are going to go to DoorDash.com and Grubhub.com and they're just going to order from there. And if you're not on there, you're losing out on that sale possibility. There are some local places that have less expensive options like City Cheetah and the DMV. If you can connect with them and offer that as a lower price option, look into that. Now is the time where you can change people's habits. We're all having our habits change. The things we ordinarily do aren't possible right now, but you can be the new changed habit for your customers. The people who, like every Friday, we get pizza from Lucky Dog or Lost Dog Pizza in Arlington, and we're going to continue to do that. But there are going to be places where that's not possible anymore. And if you can become that new habit, then you're going to have a new sale when this is over. If you can offer new items to customers who are your regular customers right now, you can increase that average sale. Other things you really want to think about, telling the story that only you can tell. Why did you start your restaurant? How did you choose the menu? How are you helping the community right now? What do you offer? How are people doing curbside and takeout? I'm seeing Matt and the team at Schaefer's doing an incredible job with this. Michelle's doing a lot with this. I know Sean's going to be picking up a lot of this as well, ways to leverage your social media presence to tell people what you're doing. If you're doing family meals, show them those family meals. If you're doing kids meals, show them those kids meals and really show off your team right now. Some of the things we're seeing that are getting the most reaction and the best reaction are videos of the staff talking about what the restaurant means to them, pictures of them talking about what a dollar spent in the restaurant means. People are worried about your restaurant staff right now, and they want to know what's going on and how they can help them. If you can connect with them personally, that's going to help a lot. And other things to think about, new items. If you don't have kids meals, think about some sort of kids meal add-on, because the kids are home now all the time and the parents need to feed them. Family meals, instead of everybody picking their own entree, one large item and sides. It's a return to normalcy. My mom never made us all individual meals. She made one thing, and that's what we got. We had to eat it. This is another opportunity to do things like that. People are still going to want to celebrate. My dad just had his birthday. We still celebrated his birthday, even though we're all on lockdown. People are still going to do that. So if you have a birthday list or an anniversary list, now's a great time to take advantage of that, especially now that you can do beer and wine through delivery and through carryout. People are going to want those things. It's a great opportunity for an upsell. Activities. I have a 3-year-old. She loves baking. Places that are offering take and bake pizzas, make your own pizzas, taco night packs that you can put together. Those are great things that you can do that connect in more than one way. I've seen 4 news stories now on take and bake pizza places and make your own pizza nights. So there's lots of ways that you can get some attention on your restaurant. Multi-use. If you buy a big item that can be used for one thing, like if you buy a giant pork butt for pulled pork sandwiches, include something in there about how they can make pulled pork tacos or pulled pork shepherd's pie or some other options for them to reuse or reheat those bigger items. Catering. Regular catering obviously isn't something that's going to go on right now, but there are options. Police, fire, EMS, hospitals, service industries are all still open. Lawn care, roofing, construction, all those are open. They all have workers. Condos associations, apartment associations, HOAs are all options to do larger orders. Food delivery boxes like prepackaged meals you're seeing for people doing keto or specialty diets. These are good options that you can connect to people who do that. So your gyms, your yoga studios, physical therapists, if you could do a prepackaged meal that they could sell to their clients, maybe they buy 5 or 10 of them over the course of the week, so they have healthy food that they're eating throughout the week. That's another good option. And then this is a good way that you can reuse your staff. So you can't have servers right now, but you can put your server on the phone, calling these businesses, calling these services and industries, calling police and fire, and see if you can drum up some of those larger orders there as well. Then you can keep them working. Connect with the community. How are you solving problems? The kids are at home. Show these things off. Maybe you could do an educational program based on reading books. Partner with a local sports team or a college or a high school where you connect with them and offer, if they read 5 books and they get a free sandwich or small pizza or something like that. Anything you can do to help the community through this time, because parents are looking for things that they can do to help educate their kids because they're at home and they're not going back to school anytime soon. And then the last one is kind of outside of the box, but something we've been testing and throwing out there, cooking class, cocktail class. Once a week, host a cooking or cocktail class on your Facebook page with your signature dish or cocktail. Host it and sell a kick for it. You obviously don't want to put the meat in there, but anything else like the spices, veggies, starches, sauce components, garnishes, meats, anything like that, put those together in a kit, sell those, and then promote the heck out of it on your Facebook page. Everybody who buys one gets entry into your private group to watch the Facebook Live, where you're going to cook that item or you're going to make that cocktail. Get your staff member with the best personality to host it, who's going to make sure that people have a great time, and then advertise the heck out of it on Facebook, Instagram, Google, etc. And then when it's done, post some clips of it to your main page to show what a good time it was and try to get people back in there. It's just another idea for things that you could do. That's everything that I have. Hope I didn't bore everybody too terribly going through that. But now we're going to listen to some of the experts here, people who are running their own restaurants all around the country. Great track records of success all the way around. And we're going to start with Sean. Sean is the owner of the Kooky Canuck, 2 locations in Tennessee, 1 in Memphis and 1 in Cordova. And he's a multi-time Restaurateur of the Year award winner down there. And I used to frequent his bar and drink way too much Jack Daniels there.
Hey, thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Sean.
No worries, no worries. So just a little background. Memphis issued a no dining room order as effective on March the 19th, and we decided at that time to close the operation completely. Our menus very prep heavy, and we didn't think that it would be prudent to move forward with that much food in the fridge and require that many people to prep on a daily basis. So we shut everything down. We donated a lot of food primarily to our staff to get them going, and then whatever was left over we donated to some local missions in the area. We've since reestablished a limited to-go menu, which made sense on the prep side, more high return to net items. And we're going to launch that on Friday and continue that for as long as we can. And, the variables here in Memphis right now, downtown for us is extremely quiet. So I'm a little uncertain in the core. There's a lot of people that have left the core in terms of business, students that live downtown. But it looks like we have more opportunity in the suburb where there's a lot more families at home with their kids and are looking for more opportunity to get some food from outside and not have to cook. All of our managers are working, so we decided to keep all the managers on staff, and they're going to be doing the bulk of the lifting and the cooking, the order taking, etc., so that we could keep those salaried folks on staff. And decided to supplement if things get busy enough, then we'll continue to supplement the labor side of it with hourlies. For us, we're going to have to break even on a daily basis. We're going to have to do at least $1,800 a day. For some, I'm hearing numbers of people doing that, but again, it's infrequent. So I was talking to Mark about restaurantowner.com, and I've been using that, or I've been subscribing to that service for a long time. It's a print and online service. And they have gotten an incredible database currently online dealing with COVID-19 from a restaurant perspective on staffing strategies, to-go strategies, takeout strategies. And I was, it's not a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money right now, but it's highly advantageous. And I put it this way, I believe in it so much, I'd pay for your money. You call me and tell me it didn't work for you, I'll give you the money. And I don't work for the company, just for the record. But restaurantowner.com has got an incredible database available right now online to help restaurants get through this situation.
Well, I'll definitely put a link to that in the comments. You've got a different situation. You've got two really large spaces there, Sean, the one downtown and the one out in Cordova. So it's just a particularly large challenge for you now that you can't fill those spaces.
Yeah, so we got 250 seats in the one in Cordova, and then 150 seats downtown. We've been fortunate on the downtown property that we've got a landlord that's willing to work with us. So we've been able to come to an agreement where we've deferred rent for 6 months. We've also been able to work with the bank on our current SBA loans and on both of those businesses where we've deferred for 6 months. So that is an extremely helpful thing for us on the cash flow side. We're still working with the other landlord to see if we can get a similar scenario set up with deferment. On the utility side, locally, they're deferred until middle of May. And, I've cut every ancillary service that we've used on the marketing side, advertising, everything I put on hold and paused.
Yeah. But you guys, you've got sort of a good amount of goodwill built up over the years, a lot of popularity. You guys have been on TV a couple times. Is there anything you think that you've done over the last, 3 to 5 years that you think has kind of helped you build that connection with your audience that'll help you sort of stay afloat during this?
Well, look, the activity in the community, that we've done over there, I know all of you do on a regular basis. Reaching out to those people that you've contributed to is really important. So whether it's a not-for-profit or it's a church, now it's time for them to return the favor by getting the message out about your restaurants. And you've contributed a lot to them. It's time for them to contribute back to you. And it doesn't mean monetarily, but it just means in getting the message out to their base, whether it's faith-based or not-profit based. That's really important.
Yeah, that's a good option, reaching out to those larger groups, and even not necessarily the huge groups, but the groups that you've worked with in the past who have a large customer base that you can sort of connect with. Maybe it sounds wrong to say a church has a customer base, but that's kind of how I think of it. But I recommend that a lot. I call it list jacking, like who has customers that you can connect with, and those are people that you can work with. I mean, you've done stuff with the Grizzlies in the past and the University of Memphis through their basketball team, and lots of the gigantic churches down there in Memphis, Bellevue, and the other really large ones. Those are good resources for you and for other restaurateurs. I tell people all the time, you can connect with those local churches. That's a captive audience of thousands of people.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anything else, Sean, that you'd want to mention to everybody? I know that restaurantowner.com is a great thing. I think I'll be recommending that to everybody to look at. But is there anything else in specific?
No, specifically, look, all I can say to everybody is that I know we're all in the same boat, and we're all hanging and waiting with bated breath on this stimulus package and how it affects us. I wish everybody the best on this, and I wish everybody the best. Hang tight. I know we're all in the same boat.
Well, thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate your insight and sharing that about the restaurantowner.com and the connections with the other people that you've helped out in the community. I can tell everybody that Sean does an incredible amount in the community. I see it on his Facebook page. And more importantly, I hear from other people, my friends and contacts down there in Memphis, the stuff that he does that doesn't get on the Facebook page, and doesn't necessarily get the credit that he deserves for those sort of things. So if you're anywhere in Memphis, like I said, I've spent a lot of money in the Cookie Canuck over the years, and I would recommend it to you as well. They're going to reopen this Friday for carryout and delivery. They've got some amazing items. I'm sure even with the limited menu, there's going to be a lot of great stuff that you'll be able to sample. So if you're anywhere in that area, I definitely recommend going to visit Sean and the team at the Cookie Canuck.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem. Thank you, Sean. So I guess now we'll go over to Mr. Matt Schaefer from Schaefer's Barbecue in Middletown, Virginia. It's a little bit different of a market, a more rural market. Matt, you're on. There you are. You're not off. You're off mute.
Yep.
Like I said, I've been going out to Schaefer's for a long time, driving out there to get my barbecue fix that I couldn't get here locally in the DMV. For a long time. I mean, it was years that I was going there before we ever even talked, and I reached out on Facebook and just mentioned, what some things that you could do. We ended up connecting, and now we're working together, and you guys do an amazing job, not only with your food, but with the videos you're doing and the photos and connecting with the community. What do you think are some of the things, or what are you seeing right now going on at Schaefer's, and how are you sort of dealing with the new situation?
So, like you said, we are, in one sense, very rural. I mean, we're in a small town that has maybe 1,000 residents. The larger county has about 45,000 residents, but we are at the intersection of 81 and 66, two major interstates, literally at the intersection. So, and we get a lot of working guys in here and gals. That's our clientele for breakfast and lunch, and then barbecue. And then families and stuff for dinner. And we are trying to we still offer our full menu, which is not that big to begin with, because we're a barbecue joint, and we have fried chicken, and maybe six or eight sides on the hot side, 6 or 8 sides on the cold side. But what we've started to do, and this was a suggestion from you, Mark, was to simplify the specials. And we've actually never really run specials before. But now we have a special with a pound of barbecue and 2 pints of sides for $20. It's about 20% off what you would buy it for if you normally came in. But we're selling thousands of dollars a day, just in, not thousands, but about $1,000 a day just in the special. So having something bite-sized that people can wrap their arms around, because our burgers don't travel that well. Our seafood po' boys, once you put it in the styrofoam container and Grubhub takes it, and who the hell knows what happens. You know, they just don't travel that well. But when someone can order online, hopefully order on Facebook here soon, like we're working on, call and order, you know, this special, then we have a drive-through window. They can come through the drive-through window. We're just trying to make it as easy as possible for both the truckers, because these truckers don't have anywhere to go or as many places to go as they had before. So we have parking spaces for tractor trailers, mostly legal parking spaces. But, you know, everybody works with us, you know, the local authorities included, you know, because we're in a small town, so everybody's definitely in it together. But that, I guess the thing that I've been the most surprised about is this bite-size $20 special. So we're going to run another one with an 8-piece fried chicken, 2 pints of sides. We're starting seafood tomorrow, a seafood special, pound of shrimp, 2 pints of sides. But whatever it is that your restaurant offers, simplifying it like you suggested, Mark, for something that people can get and go fast. And also the time matters, because we're in Virginia only allowed to have 10 patrons in here at a time. And being able for someone to walk through the door and be able to order that, and we can have that put together and them out the door in under 2 minutes. So I've only had to limit the number of people in here twice since this started, because we have the drive-through window and we have the takeout and we have, you know, I'll take it out to your car for you. You know, so so offering all three of those sort of has allowed us to serve as many people as possible through the door.
And you guys, you know, you already had a pretty robust carry-out business ahead of time, so that must have been helpful.
Right, and we're lucky in that fact that we were sort of built for this, you know, because about 50% of our business was takeout anyway. But I've seen a big shift from lunch business to dinner business. So we will do almost double from 4 o'clock, and we close at 7. So we'll do almost double from 4 to 7 what we were doing pre-corona, because it's people working and they don't want to cook when they get home. And so I've adjusted the schedule. You know, we're bringing people in later. We have managers on different schedules now because of when the business is dictating that we need to have, you know, people here in charge.
And you guys have done a really good job over the years of embedding yourself in the community out there at Middletown. It is a small town, but there are, you know, some other towns nearby. I mean, it's really impressive whenever I look on your page or the community pages around there, how often you guys come up. What were some of the things you've done over the years to sort of engender that closeness with your community?
Well, I mean, you know, just like everybody on the call and any restaurant knows, you've got to be part of the community to, you know, we give food to the churches and the fire department, and, you know, the police department they get the extra food. We work with NW Works, which employs special needs folks. So we have 2 special needs folks that work here. And you know, honestly, they work harder than anybody else does. They're great, and their attitudes are awesome. And you know, we kind of miss them now because they bust tables for us, and my dining room is folded up, you know, and the chairs are in the corner. So we miss those guys. But we just try to be good members of the community, whatever it is that we can do, from, you know, helping out individuals to helping out the community. But one thing that also, and my wife she's on my iPhone listening in. So my wife does all of our, I've got her on mute though, so I don't think you can hear her. But anyway, she does all of our social media posting and stuff. And I really don't like making videos. I'm not going to lie to you. And Mark has really pushed me, and my wife has pushed me very hard to do this, but we see a great result. So I'm going to keep doing it. It makes me uncomfortable. I just don't like to do it. But we're going to keep doing it because it works. I mean, I had a guy just walk in here and order $200 worth of barbecue because he said he could smell it through his phone on that video we did yesterday. And I was like, man, I wish that was really possible, but I'll take it, you know. So I would encourage, like Mark says, as many videos as you can do. So
just to give an example, Matt's done like 4 or 5 in the last several days, and they've all gotten thousands of views. And that's an incredible amount of reach. I don't remember exactly how many likes you guys have on your page, but I think you've gotten more views of the videos than you have Total
Yeah.
likes
And
of it.
I like to say it's the Hulk Hogan mustache here that I got going, but I don't.
Oh yeah, brother. What you gonna do when Schaefer's runs wild on you?
There you go. Maybe that's how we'll start the next video right there.
I think you should. Rip open a Schaefer shirt.
Oh, even better. Thank
That'd
you.
be even better. But you guys did a lot of that. I mean, you've been doing some videos here and there for a while, but you do lots of things to kind of connect with the community, lots of fun contests. You did the photo contest. You did the pie in the face contest. That was a lot of fun.
Right.
Did lots of specials like with the Nacogdoches pie and different things, just different
And
ways.
then we have Santa Claus in here and the Easter Bunny and lots of kids activities. We have a picnic shelter in the back, which has some kids activities and toys in it. So, we have Julie and I have 3 kids, 2, 4, and 6. So everything we do, we try to revolve around, bringing families out here to eat and to relax a little bit.
Well, I mean, there's some great options in there. You guys got your big VIP program. You got lots of people in there that we can reach out to and connect with. You're doing great with the videos. The ideas for the specials, I think, is a great idea for everybody going forward. Anything else you can think of that you guys are kind of planning on going forward to help?
Well, I was just taking a few notes just in this conversation about, the kids contest. That seems like a pretty interesting thing. We have to figure out how to do it, and then sending we picked up a few caterings here and there in the last week. Nothing crazy, but you're right. People still have to eat. And, one of the local grocery stores in Winchester, which is about 20 minutes north of us, which is the largest city around here, they had 2 grocery store chains that wanted to feed their employees. And we saw that. One of my employees' wives saw that on Facebook in a what's happening Winchester kind of thing, recommended us, but then we chased it down. I was on that lady. I mean, several messages, like we can do this, we can do, and it turned into 250 box lunches, $3,000, So again, that's that's a nice little float that we didn't have, and we had to turn it around in 12 hours, but we were able to do it. But that really helped.
And you really hustled on that. I mean, you were calling the potato chip guy and the
because I don't sit on 250 box lunches worth of stuff, but $3,000 cash is a good payday for us. So.
Well, I think the lesson there for everybody is you saw an opportunity and you chased it. You didn't say this is something you can't do. You said, how can we make this happen? And that's something I recommend a lot. Like when I've talked about the idea of calling HOAs and calling businesses a million times with a million different restaurant owners, and I can count on 2 hands the number of people who consistently do it. Whereas I know that when you say that's something you're going to look into, it's something you're actually going to do, and it's not something you're just going to say, well, it's too much effort. Because at a time like this, it's the kind of thing you really got to do is put forth those effort, and I applaud you for doing that. We were actually on the phone when Matt was calling up the potato chip guy and the wholesaler and whatever to get all the things to put those box lunches together. So I saw the hustle that it took to make that happen.
Well, thanks. And thank you. I mean, this, we're working with you, Mark, has really been eye-opening for me as to all the different options out there, and the creative ideas you bring to it are things that I never would have thought of, or Julie and I would not have thought of. So we appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and it has been very rewarding for our business.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate getting to work with you because, like I said, I love your food, and I can't wait to come out there again. So as soon as this is off, I'm going to make a visit.
All right.
We're going to shoot some video while I'm there. All right, thank you so much, Matt. We're going to go to Teresa, who I have been friends with for longer than I care to admit, because I'll show the reason why I got all this gray in my beard.
I don't see any gray, Mark.
Thank you. You are much too kind. You are much too kind. Teresa and her husband own a coffee shop in Wisconsin. They've been open for about a year now. Is that about right?
We're going to hit a year in April.
A year in April. It's an inconvenient anniversary time. But, I've been watching what you guys are doing. You've done a great job of sort of embedding yourself in the small town that you're a part of. And what are some of the things you've done? I mean, I know I talked the other day and you said you were as busy as you've ever been. So you must have been doing some things over the last year to kind of embed yourself and make that happen. What are some things that you've been doing?
Well, our whole mission was to make it a community gathering place. So it's kind of, how do you carry out that mission now when nobody can gather? But our community is definitely very supportive of us. We have just kind of hunkered down a little bit and stepped back, and we had to, tell staff to take a pause. otherwise, it's just been, the community has just been supportive, and that's what's been keeping us afloat. We haven't, I usually am very active on social media, but I've kind of calmed that down. We have one other shop in town that they just shut down completely. So we're going to try to step in to kind of fill what they were doing, because we had limited hours before. We're not open beyond 4 o'clock because I can't stay awake late. So we're going to start doing some of these ideas that I hear others, Matt's great with that bite size, being able to take it out. We're looking at take home meals, cookie decorating packs for kiddos, since we have some bakers on staff, just other ways to get some of my staff back in here to be able to work, just not near each other at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, again, just some of the ideas I've already heard. We're doing some of them, and we're also, again, just trying to step back a little bit to make sure we're keeping everybody safe, because it's a tiny community, and we all are kind of looking out for each other here, which is great. I think it's very unique from, Northern Virginia, where I know you from. So, I feel lucky that we've been able just to kind of get by from community support so far. So nothing special for me to offer here with this great group.
Well, tell me a little bit, talk a little bit about, like you said, the community is very small there. What was the need that you guys saw that needed to be filled, and what made you decide to fill it?
We needed a place for families to gather, because all we have are 3 bars, and that's it in town. So there's no other food options. There's no place to get a decent cup of coffee. So we really have things like story time for kids. We have kids' activities here. It's a place where teens can meet. We have foosball in the back. So it really was just filling that need for a place where the community could come together.
And I think that's kind of, the little secret there is you've made it a place that people are very comfortable with, and it's part of the community. So even at a time like this, when maybe they can't be there in person, they still feel like it's part of their lives and want to support it. So you've given them a very important service when it comes to their kids and their teens, and filling something that wasn't there before. Maybe they didn't even know they need it till they had it. And
until
now
they had it, yeah.
Right. And
Everybody needs coffee.
They miss it. What are some of the things, I watch your social media page. I see the kind of things that you guys do. What are some of the stuff that you've done on your social media page to kind of grow your audience that you've seen made successful?
I just try to pull in as much. I'm really big about supporting others. So supporting the local farmers who provide us the meat, supporting the local bakeries, because then I pull in their crowds and their customers as well. And it's such a great support network. Like our local farmer who provides our meat, he made sure when this all started happening to blast out, make sure you guys go to Deerfield Coffee House. They're still serving our meat. So social media is also, showing what specials we have, making sure we keep offering new drinks to compete with that larger coffee company that everybody knows. So yeah, ew, them. But people appreciate not having to go there and having an option here.
And I think that's one of the kind of not so secret secrets. You've connected with those suppliers, and they're not just suppliers. They're people that you have a personal relationship with, and that's why they support you and why you support them. And you're able to sort of combine the reach of both of you, because I'm sure there are people who come into your coffee house who don't know about that farmer, but they'll hear about it through your posts, and maybe they can do something with them. And there are people that use that farmer for their meat supply that maybe don't know about you, who can come in and support you as well.
Yeah, works out well.
So what are some of your plans going forward over the next, couple of weeks, months? I
don't know. Every day is new. We just got our new orders from the governor that we're trying to sort through and figure out what's legal and what's not. The biggest thing we're looking at is take home meals and like the cookie or cupcake decorating packs. That's about it right now.
I think you guys could do great with doing some lives with those cookie and cupcake packs, because you've already sort of created that community where the people are used to bringing their kids in for different events. And like you could even do like virtual story time and cupcake decorating.
I was going to say our storyteller is doing that. She does have a link up and does virtual story time. So she was on that one. I wish I could claim it, but it was totally her.
I'm going to give you credit anyway.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
And anything like that you're already talking about with the cookie decorating, the stuff you guys are already doing, just take it to your page. I think people would be into that. I think people are looking for connections right now. I think people are looking, they're going to get sick of being in their house with their family. So anything they could do to connect with the wider community, I think would be a great thing.
Excellent.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I'm just so proud of you, Mark. I have, just so you guys know, I've known Mark since 6th grade, 7th?
6th or 7th grade, yeah.
Long time. So I'm proud.
The last time we got in a call together, my mom heard, and my mom had to come down and say hi. So that kind of shows you how far back. So Teresa and my mom had a longer conversation than Teresa and I did, which is fine because Teresa was one of her favorites from French class way back in Woodbridge years ago.
Please tell her I said hello again.
I will. I'll see her in a little bit. All right. Thank you, Teresa. All right. And closing us out, we're going to talk with Michelle Baxter, one of the owners of Scrimp Shack in Dumfries and other locations here coming up in the future. Kind of has a different situation as a franchisee versus an independent restaurant owner. I met Michelle, 1.5 years ago, maybe more, going to her grand opening where she and Andrew and the franchisors from Scrimp Shack were so welcoming and kind and fun to talk to. And we did some videos together and talked for a long time and started working together not quite a year ago on different things. And I've watched just the amazing stuff Michelle and her team has done to really ingratiate themselves into the community in Prince William County and Dumfries and connecting with the mayor and all kinds of different networking groups and other things. Like Michelle gets out and about as much as anybody I've ever seen while still running a restaurant and getting ready to open another one. So I think one of the secrets to their success is ridiculously hard work. But Michelle, what are some of the things that you guys are dealing with right now, and how are you planning to move forward?
Absolutely. Well, Mark, first off, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of the call. I have been definitely taking some notes in my chicken scratch. And if you've seen my eyes wandering, it's because this is my office. I work from home and I've got security cameras for the store, graphic work going on this monitor, and group chats going over here. So basically innovation is my keyword for this time. I highly recommend all restaurant owners be proactive, but if you've already missed the mark for that, now is the time to be reactive. So what's going on in Dumfries? We are a franchise. It's a little different though, where it's not a fully established franchise. It's more of a mom and pop. It's only been around for a handful of years. So we still act as owners and operators, almost like more of an independent restaurant here. And that is rapidly changing as we grow. But in the meantime, just as a little caveat, a lot of what I do is actually acting as a restaurant owner, not a franchise owner. And then of course I get to benefit the brand as a whole unit with anything that I'm able to create. So if you were being proactive, weird enough, and actually let me also throw a caveat that I do run this restaurant as a business, and I know that may be a little different. Other people on the call may be more talent. They may be the chef in the kitchen that loves creating the food. They may be the customer service person in the restaurant. I personally run it from more of an operational management standpoint. And so I'm outside of the restaurant with all of my work. My husband is inside the restaurant, so he's hands-on operations. I'm everything business management outside of the restaurant. So because of that, it opens up my schedule that what we're experiencing right now is like my language. Like this is the kind of stuff I'm focusing on a daily basis. I have 3 strategies that I'd say. It's survive, master, and grow. So when we got into the restaurant business, we were not previous restaurant owners or workers. I think I had one job at Tropical Smoothie when I was like 16. And yes, I'm still kind of young. You can go ahead and imply that by looking at me. So we didn't have any experience. We stepped into the plate and it was survival mode. How do we run this? I have entrepreneurship experience. I've got corporate development, process improvement experience. So I took everything that I knew, looked at the restaurant and said, how do I apply this? After we went survival mode, then we went master mode. How do we become an expert at what we're doing? And for us, that's more of a process orientation. And then we started growing. And that's when I met Mark. So I do want to throw out a quick little plug here. If you have not already met Mark and you're watching this, feel free to check out all of his links that he's going to be providing below, because he was just another person that I could mastermind with. Once again, someone who's a little bit more detached from the restaurant world, but very much a intelligent mind when it comes to the marketing side. So through masterminding with him, he started challenging me with things like, do you have a database? Now let's put a little backstory. I was a database developer in my previous life. And my corporate life. And so it was kind of funny when he said that, because I'm like, that doesn't apply here. This is a totally different world. And boy, was I wrong. So I opened my mind. I listened to everything he had to say. And we started building a database system through his VIP program on Facebook. I am a social media junkie. Sometimes it's a guilty pleasure I shouldn't even admit to. And so because of that, I was very open to everything that he threw at me and said, hey, here's how we can evolve this and take it to the next level. Okay, so we were already doing some of those things proactively. Now, if that's not the case for you and you're checking out this video, it's now time to do this reactively. And so the way that we're doing that, we're bumping it back to survival mode. Now we're looking at how can I optimize my order intake. So I literally have a funnel graphic on the screen behind, and I can share it with Mark if he wants to pass it on. And I started getting creative. What are all the channels of how I can bring customers into the store virtually? So obviously phone in, third-party delivery, Facebook text messages, Google links and webs, all the different ways that I can generate traffic through these customers. And then how do I funnel them into this order process? So I literally looked at my husband and I said, because remember, he's my in-store person. And I said, as much as the kitchen can handle it, I'm going to funnel you orders. Like, that is my goal. And sorry, that's the store phone ringing to my office. So I said, as much as you can handle it, I'm going to funnel you orders. That is my goal. I do want to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm sorry to deliver this to everyone, but apparently as of today, the 25th of March, it is official via the Virginia Health Department that you are not even allowed to have customers in your restaurant. That is news to me. I just learned that a couple hours ago. So we are back in survival mode yet again, and we are pivoting once again to modify our order. So now I am staging tables at my side door entrance. I'm going to funnel in all these orders from online orders, which, by the way, I launched at 4 o'clock this morning. Apparently, like, this is restaurant owner life. So 4 o'clock this morning, I launched online ordering. We already have phone in. I activated my landline in my office that the store now rings to my office so that I can take call-in orders here during peak hours. We may be a little bit different than some of the other viewers on here. We do have times on Friday nights where we have a line wrapped around the building. So we wanted to prepare for a coronavirus version of that. Like, we know the line's not going to be as long. They can't even physically be there in person. So how can I modify our operations to still get as much as that line through my business through modified operations? So that is my goal. I'm pulling out my little wheel of survive, master, and grow. We are now in survival mode. We are activating every method possible. Poor Mark, he put me last because I obviously am full of words. He's probably gotten a phone call at least once a day for the last week. And I'm like, I hope you have an hour, because this is not a 30-minute call. And we go through and we mastermind these ideas. And this is just how I think. So this is a little bit more natural to me. If you're a restaurant owner and you're more passionate about the kitchen and the cooking, or more passionate about another aspect and not marketing, don't try to be the expert. If you need a book to read while you're on quarantine, pull out the E-Myth and find out that you're not supposed to be all the pieces of your business. And so that is when I looked at someone like Mark and said, Mark, I don't care about Facebook ads. I believe in them. I know what they do. I know the power of them, but I really just don't have it in my bandwidth to learn them. So I use him as a resource. I am making myself available to others as a resource as well. If you need to mastermind ideas or go through concepts or whatever it is, restaurant or not, obviously I want to give back and help other people too. So don't try to like be it all and do it all yourself. Allow yourself to go into that survival mode, find resources that are willing to handhold you through this, and really just get creative. Optimize every version of a way that you can serve a customer, figure it out. So I literally pulled this tablet out off the bookshelf. It's probably been off and dead for like 3 years now. And it now has online ordering that I'm going to manually enter it into my POS software from my home office. So yes, it's a little bit of I'm thinking of a bad word. It's not fun. Like, it's a little bit of a painful process, but if that's what it takes to be innovative, and more importantly, if that's what it takes to service my customer, because I firmly believe that what Mark said is true. We're going to be stronger on the other side of this because of what we've created in the midst of it. So if I can serve my customer with a smile and make it as pain-free as possible for them, then the better off I'm going to be after this, and they're going to remember that. So I am pushing marketing on every platform that I can. I'm using Mark and all of his ideas. This online ordering system, it's handheld. Yes, the franchise is going to be launching our own ordering system, but I couldn't wait for that. So there has to be innovation and creativity in the midst of it to kind of survive immediately versus now the long-term planning that we were doing before. So that's kind of where we're at with that. It's proactive versus reactive, modifying operations, pulling in customers from every channel, servicing them with excellence. Because obviously when the kitchen gets chaotic, you start forgetting things like side items. I don't quite understand how we forget hush puppies on an order, but they do. So it's bringing it back to the basics. How do we optimize our operations, funnel in as many customers as possible, and still serve with a level of excellence? So obviously I could talk about this for hours. I'll wrap it up there. If you want more information, you can reach out to me directly. This is one of my favorite subjects. So thank you again, Mark, for everything you've done. Thank you so much for everything you've done to serve our business and to serve me individually, and then to help out, way beyond your local environment.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's been my pleasure. Your passion is infectious. I think a couple of the lessons
I get very excited
from you and from Matt is like imperfect action and is more important. Like fast action is more important. You saw a need to get online ordering and you were like, throw some options at me. And I threw a couple at you and you were on it that night, staying up, looking at each one and just picked one and said, I don't know if this is the perfect one, but it's the one I can do right now, and went forward with it. And now you've got, you had an old tablet that can take the orders. And another thing people might know, Michelle mentioned that's, her office and that's where she takes orders, but the phone will ding there and she takes orders from customers over the phone and puts it into the POS manually so that, they're not missing out on those, because she could see they put in the security camera so they could watch, not to make, for the obvious reasons, but for other reasons, that if she saw that the phone wasn't being answered or the tablet wasn't being looked at, that she could take that order and get that taken care of. She just adapted quickly. Sean mentioned that his managers are all hands on deck all the time right now, because that's the need that's there. Michelle is all hands on deck and she's there to take those orders and take those other items and act quickly when quick action is necessary. So I think that's a good lesson for everybody is, this is a time when you got to move quick. You can't, it's not a time to agonize over the decision. It's a time to make a decision and move forward with it and act quickly and then react based on the data that you get back. And speaking of that, Michelle, you do a lot of stuff in the community as well. You do a lot of networking. So you're reaching out to other groups and other businesses, connecting with them, helping them out. Could you talk a little bit about how that's been helpful for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am obviously a talker by nature, like it's part of my personality. So networking is a favorite thing. I love relationships. I love friendships. And, owning a restaurant and being a part of a networking group is kind of weird sometimes because not everyone lives close enough to go to my restaurant. It's not like I have a physical product they can buy online. So, there's sometimes when I go to these networking meetings, I'm like, why am I really here? And what I found is that I get to be a resource to people through those meetings. And so I can share of skills and things that I have that apply to all business industries. However, it now turned and pivoted. So when we hit this whole survival mode with the virus, I immediately reached out to those networks and said, hey, anything you can do to share online to let people know that we're still operating, I'd appreciate it. And within like 20 minutes, I had like 5 or 10 women share all across their different networks, some different videos that Mark made me do. So, those, once again, that was kind of a proactive thing, right? So the more that you're doing on a regular basis to network, build relationships, give back, whether it's, involvement with the mayor and a school drive for supplies, or it's donating food to the homeless shelter, which we've done that as well locally. All of those things in the moment are feel-good things that you can do. But someone else mentioned, I think Matt mentioned it, when you get into these moments where you're now reacting to things, those are still leveraged relationships that you can rely on or ping on. I've got women now posting, and I say women because some of my networking groups are all women, but there are men ones as well. But some of the women are sharing like, hey, let's go all get lunch and we'll sit in our cars with the windows down and talk from car to car. And I'm like, hey, whatever you have to do, it's creative. I love it. You're supporting me. I appreciate you. So yeah, I don't ever want to say it's too late, because this is like number one survival. There's probably going to be another version of a survival next year. Like everything happens, right? Something breaks, a vendor quits supplying, like something happens. So the more that you can do in this period to learn a new normal, whether you can apply it now or not, it's going to help build your business, whether today or tomorrow.
You've been putting those deposits in those banks over the last year and a half. Your networking bank, your community bank, the bank with the mayor, the bank with the videos, the bank with the outreach, the bank with the social media, the bank with optimizing your processes. And now you're kind of drawing drawing those deposits out and taking advantage of them
Yeah.
because you put in the work ahead of time, which all of you have done. Matt, you've done it with Schaefer's for years now. Teresa, you've done it for almost a year out there in Wisconsin, becoming part of the community. Sean's been doing it for, over a decade down there in Memphis. He's going to be pulling those deposits out of the bank now. Michelle, did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, I won't take too long because I could sit here and talk for hours. So if anyone needs me, you're more than welcome to provide contact information, and I am more than willing to be a resource. I think now the best thing we can do is spread kindness and love and joy to especially the fellow business owners. So I want to be a support system to anyone who needs it, however I can be.
So I'll do that. I'll have contact information for everybody if anybody wants to reach out. I definitely recommend check out the videos that Matt and Michelle are doing on their pages. They're great. They're getting thousands of views each, with no ad spend behind them. They're just put up there and people are watching them because they're interested and they want to know. And just a quick rundown again, we had Sean Danko from Memphis, the owner of the Kooky Canuck in downtown Memphis and in Cordova. It's a very fun place with, American comfort food. I spent way too much money there over the years. And I love it. So if you're out in that area, if you're anywhere in North Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas, please go and check them out. We also have Matt Schaefer from Schaefer's Barbecue in Middletown, Virginia, where 66 and 81 come together, close to Front Royal, close to Winchester. If you're traveling anywhere over in that area, like I said, I would drive an hour and a half, and that's without traffic. Like if there was traffic, it was further. It would take me a lot longer on many occasions. And not once did I turn around, even if I hit traffic on 66. I always went, and I got my barbecue and I got my pie. So if I'm willing to drive that far, it gives you an idea of how much it's worth it to drive out there to Middletown and try yourself some barbecue and some fried chicken and the crab cakes and seafood. And they have an incredible beer selection too. So if you're there and you're stuck inside, you can get takeout beer now. You can come and get beer and some of the great stuff that they have there. So if you're anywhere in that area, Harrisonburg, Charlottesville, trust me, you're going to want to make the trip. Go over to Schaefer's, get yourself some food, get yourself some drinks, get yourself some barbecue. You're going to love it. And my dear friend Teresa, who goes way back to middle school, in her Deerfield Coffee House in Deerfield, Wisconsin. I'm not sure of what's around it, but if you're around Deerfield, please go and check it out at Deerfield. If you're anywhere in that area, they've really become a part of their community there. They do amazing things with everybody in the community. And from checking them out on Facebook, I know how delicious all the food and coffee and cookies and all the goodies there are. So please, if you're in the area, go and support them. And of course, Michelle, right near me here in Northern Virginia, down in Dumfries, and soon to be opening another location. We won't talk about that right now, but we'll talk about Dumfries with the Scrim Shack, the fattest fish sandwich you're ever going to see. It's enormous. It took me 3 seatings to finish mine, which is, anybody who knows me, that's an impressive feat because I can eat a lot of food. Great fried fish and seafood, and I got a banana pudding the other day that was quite tasty as well. And great people, they're incredibly friendly, and it's the kind of place that we should all support. So anybody watching this, whether you're a restaurateur or whether you're just a customer and would like to find a place to go, please support these great restaurant owners who were so kind as to share their ideas and advice and take some time out of their day to help other restaurant owners. Restaurant owners, if you have questions for me or for anybody on this call, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to put the contact information on here. And contact me if you want to talk to anybody specific, and I'll connect you with them because I'm not going to put their contact information out publicly. Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome. I'd love to do it again sometime. If you got any questions for me, you all know how to get a hold of me. This has been great. It's been a great restaurant mastermind. We're all facing a serious challenge right now, but I think you all have put in the work and put the pieces in place to be successful through it. And I'm just happy that I get to know you and get to work with you. So thank you guys so much.